Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Moiz Arsiwala, who is the co-founder of WorkIndia, which is India's largest blue collar and gray collar job portal. Hi, Moiz. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Priya, for inviting me. It's a pleasure coming here.
Moiz, to start with, I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience. Tell us a bit about your background before entrepreneurship and how did arrive at entrepreneurship? How did you think about what made you to think about entrepreneurship?
So I'll quickly introduce myself. Name, obviously, it's Moiz Arsiwala. I did my engineering, so I come from an engineering background. I did my engineering from a college called Sardar Patel Institute in Mumbai. Post that, worked for 2 years in a multinational called Diebold,
Mhm,
which is an ATM-based company. I was working for their applications team. Post that, came on board as part of the founding team at WorkIndia. About my entrepreneurship journey, basically, at a background, I come from a small business family. Like my dad owns a small shop in Mumbai, and somewhere I eventually wanted to settle in a business after having a relevant experience in the IT field. That
mhm,
was the thought process at a very high level. But an interesting story happened back in college when I was a training placement coordinator, uh, uh, part of the training placement coordinator office, and it used to be very fulfilling when people used to get placed, and I was part of their journey in terms of coordinating, program managing the entire campus. At
mhm,
that point of time, something stuck. I should work someday in a company like a LinkedIn kind of company. At that point of time, LinkedIn was very big, and that was the idea. And somehow we all fell into the rat race of getting a job. So went to a multinational. Post 2 years, I was like done and wanted to do something of my own. And my batchmate, who's currently the CEO of the company at Work India, gave me a call saying that there is this venture where we want to not a venture, a thought process of providing meaningful livelihood to 235 million people across the globe, across India, and then we expanded it to globe as well 3 years after founding the company. And it made me felt excited, and that's how I came on board as part of the founding team at Work India. Yeah,
So,
that's been the journey.
how did you kind of shortlist this idea? Why are you solving for blue and gray collar workers? Because the way I see it, a lot of money is there in the white collar space, and all the big companies are focusing in that particular chunk.
So, so the initial thought process was that there are two core problem statements that we put it like we were focusing on the pillars of what Work India stands for. This was first is to solve for information asymmetry, and
Mhm,
second is to eliminate or to reduce the job fraud that happens in this market. And that was very core, and somehow the story of people who were looking for part-time jobs at that point of time stuck with us, that we want to get a job, we go to some XYZ consultant, and then he puts us on a job, and then he rotates us, something of that sort, or he takes the money and gives us the job. And that something was very unnatural coming from the background. So the thing was information asymmetry. Is the problem statement large enough? Yes, it is large enough. The thought process is there is a demand at one side which is underserved,
mhm,
and there is supply who does not know where the job exists. And our thought process was, can we bridge this gap between the underserved demand and excess of supply, which are not able to discover, and can we become a bridge to providing meaningful livelihood? While doing so, we were very clear about the thought process that we will not entertain frauds on the platform, because in white collar, since the money is high, a lot of checks and governances around it. But when it comes to blue collar or the gray collar industry, a lot of fraud happens because the candidates are in desperate need of a job, and
Mm.
a job extends from office job to uh, a job, let's say, with a driver or a delivery boy. And
Right.
in this, lot of people are there, the stakeholders are available who try to uh, basically create nuisance in the system. One is consultancy, second is a lot of MLM schemes that happen, which is
Mm.
you purchase this product and you sell it to other people. Still,
Right.
there is a product, but today it extends to a service or something. Like today, the kind of frauds that happen is with respect to creating demat account or opening
Mm.
up a demat account of a person who does not even want it. And that's the kind of fraud schemes that we categorize between clickbait jobs to MLM scheme. And third was, we were very, I would say, the word passionate makes sense or not, but we were always very focused on, like, uh, if a lady from your house goes for a work, she should feel comfortable. I think we are still fighting that war. A lot of vulgar jobs is a big problem statement where vulgar and kind of semi-prostitution kind of jobs,
Mm.
which create a lot of nuisance in terms of, like, in a smaller MSME kind of workplaces where the staff is like 10, 15 people. So people have this thing of exploiting the people, the lady part of the component.
Mm. Got it.
So that's the premises of what we were trying to solve, or we are trying to solve right now.
Understood. So the next question comes is how you are going to solve it, because you cannot simply build another LinkedIn or Naukri.com, because there is a reason why people, the blue collar people are not there, or the platform is not even catering to these big people. They are not tech savvy. They cannot navigate through a mobile app, and some of the people even don't even have smartphones, so they cannot install a mobile app. So you have to make it very simple for them. They should be maybe using WhatsApp or SMS to uh, take them through the job process, instead of navigating through a app, or even sometimes digitization is not an option. So how are you, or how did you go about solving that problem?
So in a decade's time, we saw from India going from a no internet to all internet space. And I think thanks to Jio, Reliance Jio played a pivotal role. Uh, Let me start with 2015. Like, how would 2015 looked to us? So back in time, it was 2G era. So people, very few people you could afford 3G at that point of time, or it was hardly present. Like 200 or 300 bucks for 1 GB was the cost at that point of time. So 2G was very prevalent. We
Hmm.
were born in 2G era, and the problem statement that we always emphasized, or we were always focused on, is how do we ensure that a person can explore a job without having internet? That was the problem statement that engineering had. And to solve for it, we created at that point of time an offline app. What does an offline app mean? So we were trying to solve for. So you mentioned about internet, you mentioned about understanding of screens or the sizes of the screen, and the tech savviness. And at that point of time, the first problem we tried solving for is no internet scenario. Like, you can use the application, you can do the entire flow without internet. Now,
Hmm.
how do we sync jobs? So it was fully background. We used to sync the jobs in the background, and that the application never had a what do we call, a loading window.
Hmm.
That was the problem statement that we focused on, and we built the entire application on it. It was like very recently, back in 2020, after COVID, when we had enough connection that people have now good internet speed and can are spending a lot of time on videos, etc., YouTube. Since India is one of the largest consumer of video content on YouTube, we moved our offline application to online. So our application became an online application. Like it loads now at runtime or when you start the application after 2020. That's when we moved our application from offline to online. Second
Mm.
problem statement about the understanding of UI and how to do it. So we kept the application. So people were at that point of time very confident or very uh, 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 were able to use WhatsApp. And we said we will just make the application. Can we make that was the proposition? Can we make the application as simple as
Mm-hmm.
so the if you would have seen the application, it has large buttons, very simple large buttons like English, graduation, 12th pass, 10th pass, something of that sort. And the UI had only large buttons which can be pressed easily, and it just generates. The application was very simple. There was an onboarding screen where there were large buttons where we used to ask for basic information, and then a list of jobs which were as simple as the chat window that you see on WhatsApp. And that was the entire premises. Can you make it as simple as WhatsApp? The third interesting fact, which contradicts with our notional behavior, that these guys are not comfortable with mobile technology or the screens. But you will be amazed that as India, as a region, the blue collar industry or the gray collar industry moved from no screen or no like we all went from, let's say, TV to desktops to laptops and to phones or tablets. That's been
Mm.
the journey for people who have been fortunate in the IT space. But majority population hasn't have moved from no internet or uh, no visibility or let's say TV directly to a mobile screen. So for them, the mobiles, they are the kind of comfort that they have with mobile screen is much better compared to, let's say, even I would go to the extent of claiming that even better than people who have moved from laptop to desktop, laptop to mobile, because we still go to laptop for doing a lot of work, but they are able to operate on mobile phone. And you will be amazed that the interesting fact that we might be spending limited amount on purchasing a mobile, but these guys spend almost 1x or 2x of their monthly salary on getting a better phone, because for them the only entertainment mode is a mobile, because
Mm.
in, let's say, a small house they don't have TV, or
Right.
if they have a TV, that's a shared TV. You don't have personal TVs or personal space. So mobile is the space where which acts as entertainment, work, and utility.
Mm.
So, so for them, mobile happened to be very important. And we were amazed, like, why someone would purchase, making barely 15,000 rupees, was purchasing a 20,000 rupees of phone. And we got this insight. And I think the two actions, which is Reliance Jio and cheap Chinese phones, which is Xiaomi and all these companies, have actually made a mark in India in terms of uh, the technology. So that's been the 2015 to somewhere around 2020 a journey. And 2020 onwards, I think India, as with UPI and with a lot of backing from digital inputs that have been done by the government, has actually fueled the visibility around the coming on the application, and or using the application has become a very good normal thing across the market. So that's been the high level thought process or high level insight around the population who have digital in, let's say, metro cities and top tier 2, tier 3 cities. I think there is a scope of people coming from, let's say, the village part, still using eye candy phones or very simple phones, but
Mm.
they are also moving towards smartphone as a
Okay.
requirement.
So you spoke about the demand side here, uh, but also let's talk about the supply side. Like, how do you make sure you spoke about the fake jobs and nuisances created by the middlemen? So how do you go about solving that? Because today the fake job is rising. Even on LinkedIn, you can see a lot of fake jobs are being posted. People are collecting resumes and then doing a lot of shady things to those resumes.
Yes.
They're selling it on black market. When a lot of things are happening. So how do you go about solving the other side?
Yeah. So I'll pinpoint, or I'll keep the conversation around fraud jobs. So we were very convinced that this is something that we don't want to entertain, and there's an entire piece of technology that has been created around this. So there are three subsystems which help us uh, block a fraudulent behavior on the platform. And these three systems are built on top of one is the graph analytics. So we try to create a metadata profile of an employer using various attributes around him. And once a person is marked as suspicious, post that if he tries to enter into the system through any of the related parameters, he will be blocked. And this technology has been taken from a reference of the Panama paper. If you remember, Panama paper leak had happened, and there was this technology called Neo4j, a graph database which was used for detecting this leak to create deep web or deep connectivities among the various entities. We use the same technology. Now we have migrated away from Neo4j just for the cost benefit. It is now on Elasticsearch, but yeah, we use graph technology. Second system that we use is a rule management system. So we have close to we analyze close to 98 uh, lakh 9.8 million data points to basically categorize a job. So these rules work on various parameters across an employer that comes on the platform. His journey parameters, his behavior, and his metadata help us figure out the kind of behavior that they do on the platform. So we have created a lot of patterns across, and those get embedded into the rule engine, which uh, uh, help us categorize an employer as good, bad, or risky. This is based on rules, which is the BRMS tool created by or maintained by sorry, Red Hat. Sorry. So that's another system, and then we have NLP based, natural language processing based, which help us figure out bad keywords in the job posting. Like a lot of fraud happens in this industry of massage and modeling kind of jobs, which happen to look like a genuine job, but they are not. So we use text analysis to basically figure out such intentions from the job description. So these are the three technologies that we use, and all these are clubbed into our machine learning algorithm, which help us categorize. So close to 87% of the jobs at a scale of, let's say, close to 200K jobs coming on the platform are categorized by this technology system, and other 13% by our manual efforts, where let's say false positives are generated, then there is this manual team which takes care of those 13% of the job. 87% of the jobs are automatically categorized and allowed or disallowed on the platform based on the system, which is a combination of machine learning, graph analytics, NLP, and rule management or rule engine.
Okay, so speaking of machine learning and NLU and everything, what I have observed is nowadays the AI has evolved so much that so earlier what used to happen based on the keywords you would filter a resume and you can find out, let's say, 50 people who match a job description. But now the AI has gone one step further. Now it will produce only one or two resumes which are, exactly fitting the job description. And why it has happened is because, I mean, so earlier people were generalists, then, specialization started kicking in. Let's say somebody is a product manager. So y- now this AI is, filtering out, even if among the pool of product manager who has the required experience, who has worked on a similar industry, who has worked on a similar product, similar technology. I mean, lot of filtration is happening, which is, not humanly possible. It is done by the AI. And it's not just about the keywords. It will also filter out who is a genuine worker, or who just mentioned the keywords for the sake of it. So what would you say on that? Because lot of candidates who are applying for jobs now, they're curious to understand how what is the new AI model, and how they can, optimize their CVs, or optimize their chances of, getting shortlisted and then getting selected for a job.
Hmm. So, how do I see, let's say, AI and then what is it that how it will, let's say, positively impact the industry and how it will basically have challenges. So I think let's acknowledge the fact that AI is here to stay, and everyone who is not able to basically accustom or get used to will face a challenges survival challenges in terms of it's like industrial revolution के बाद, like if there was an industrial revolution, people lost jobs in and people moved to another, like machines came in but they moved to another set of jobs. Very similarly, computers came in, computers changed a lot of way we do the work. And today, another industry has come up, which is this industry of developers, programmers. And when internet came, similar things happened. And now, let's say AI is here to stay. I think the faster we realize ourselves that it has to be a companion versus a mode of replacing human what do you call it? The human workforce. I think we need to acknowledge that for next 5 years horizon, it's a companion, and we all have to embrace it. Having said that, I think uh, in job industry, AI can play a very good role of getting rid of a lot of manual work and doing it at scale. I think the only factor that will stop us from not adopting or being slow would be the cost that goes in running these systems. But I think it can enhance our productivity across a lot of operational charters, which is one is the HR function, then there's this accounting function, etc. These functions will get optimized because people will have much better information. They will be much better aware. They will be aware about or maybe better prepared would be the right word. Uh, so that is what I think from an AI standpoint. I think one of the very use case uh, that will make or that will revolutionize this industry is how do we optimize the time of HR by having something like a smart HR agent that can do the shortlisting and give you the best set of leads. I think what you spoke is very relevant in this context. That how do we how do we optimize the systems that can help us reduce the workload of an HR agent or HR person by doing the shortlisting and qualifying the lead. I think the next challenge would be so if you go to any large company, they will have multiple HRs and they will have multiple portals. Now, integrating all these portals into a super HR portal would be something that I'm looking forward to. That is there some thought around having a super HR portal which can basically curate, curate, qualify, and then give the what do we call the cream to the to people to optimize their HR operations uh, process.
Got it. And then coming to the other aspect you spoke about, AI is going to replace the jobs. And my thought process around that is, yeah, everybody keeps saying, especially the pro technology people, they say AI is going to be a co-pilot, uh, and people will embrace it, will enhance productivity. But on ground level reality, I have been seeing some of the unfortunate things happening. In fact, I saw some of my closest friend got laid off because of AI. They got laid off from jobs like being a content creator, content marketer, kind of profile, to product manager, to developer. So I think AI is replacing all these job roles. It is now writing codes. I think AI has come to a level that it can produce videos. I think OpenAI launched Sora recently. So the job of filmmakers, job of so let's say the filmmaking process required 1,000 people earlier. Maybe it will come down to 100 people now. Similarly, let's say a company needed 20 coders earlier, maybe they'll need 3 to 4 now. So it is affecting in real time uh, to all the job roles. And interestingly, all these roles are somewhat white collar in nature. So I mean, what would you say on that? And how is it also going to affect the blue collar workers as well?
I think like I would go back to how evolution has affected the human race, and I think it's one of the pivotal moments in the human race. I think so. There will be disruptions, but I think a different industry is going to get created. I think now from people doing the grunt work of, let's say, manual stuff will will be transferred to machines, and maybe they will be required to optimize the process of doing that particular operation, because finally uh, I a lot of time I take this particular movie's reference. There's a movie called Lucy, which is based on some drug which enhances the brain power. And I think we need to understand that there will be a change, but a different industry is going to get evolved. Maybe the next set of industry will be, let's say, if I go 40 years back, people used to get into very core fields, but today people go to IT and technology field. Now maybe that will be replaced with something like a prompt engineering kind of industry, which will be more of uh, con- how do we optimize the process versus doing the process. So doing will be replaced with how do we do it, or how do we get it done. So the problem statements might change. The people will, I think nature has its way of balancing the stuff. So there will be corrections, obviously. Hate to say that because I'm part of the industry, which and my revenue depends on people getting placed. But I think it will shift. There will be a shift that will happen, and people will have to evolve. I think one of the, like the way you spoke about the recent examples which happened organically at our office is, so we restricted ChatGPT in the operations team, and I kept on getting a lot of requests from people that please enable ChatGPT. And I was like, why do you need it? Matlab, you are working on, like, you're part of the call center supporting. Because no, we needed to write good looking mails. Very simple. Like, I need to put my four things which previously I used to fill it and do it. Today, the ChatGPT does it better for me, and it optimizes my time. I think at very ground level, people who are like making barely 17, 18,000 rupees a month are actually embracing it. So it's one is organic way of looking at it, and one is actually getting replaced. So obviously the roles uh, which can be replicated by machine efficiently will get replaced, but there will be another. set of people who would be required to make the machine understand the context, and that will be more relevant. So as the race of the human will upgrade.
Okay.
That's what I feel would make sense from what I see. Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's that's my version of understanding of how AI will be affecting the job.
Okay. Um, the next aspect, this is probably the final question that I have for you, uh, is around entrepreneurship. So all these years of being a founding member and then a co-founder, um, building something from scratch. What have you learned about the process of entrepreneurship? Like, how would you define it? How would you advise others who are listening to you to approach entrepreneurship? Because these are the people who are thinking about doing something on their own probably someday. What are the right expectations to have? Otherwise, people come to entrepreneurship with very wrong expectations. They think it's a lot of fancy things. You make a lot of money, drive fancy cars and everything, but they don't realize it happens to only probably 1 or 0.1% of people. Entrepreneurship is very difficult journey. So, just your few cents on that.
Uh, Let me divide the problem into three parts. I think the first I will speak about, let's say, the keywords. Maybe one is what I learned across my 10 years of journeys: failing fast, learn and repeat. I think that's something that everyone will speak about, but it is very relevant. Like the compounding effect happens when you are able to do the boring job or boring things at scale and more efficiently. Second is the frugal mindset or thought process. That um, I think today we see people raising money and having fancy valuation means yeah, it's a success. I think success happens when you are able to meaningfully create value in the ecosystem. If a value is created, then automatically the business will thrive. I think till the time we are relevant and we are generating value, we'll be relevant the day we get to, let's just what we call top floor, and somewhere if mind shifts, then there is a downfall that is inevitable. So keeping ensuring that we are able to generate value in whatever we are doing. It uh, could be anything. I think value creation and is very important. And third thing is, you don't need everything to be figured out on day one. I think having that expectation is wrong because a lot of time, very simple problems at, let's say, scale becomes very difficult to solve. And the most difficult problem that you used to think happens to be a very simple thing to be solved. I think at scale, things change. A very, very simple looking problem might become very large. Uh, yeah, and I think fourth thing that I would want to mention is यार सोचने का पैसा नहीं होता, करने का पैसा है, ठीक है? So you need to think large. I think restricting ourselves when you get into the entrepreneurial journey, a lot of time we get restricted by short-term actions. I think you need to take those actions to sustain or to live that day. But with that, सोचने का पैसा नहीं लगता, think large. I think having that particular thing is very important. That's about the high level thought process from an entrepreneurship journey standpoint. I think as an individual, you need to scale your own self. The day you stop learning, you are dead. Or think it that way. And I get very worried when this the frustration that I keep on having, that am I not learning faster? Uh, Look out for good mentors. That is very important. Mentors and I think leadership coaching is or having the understanding, like having knowing your own self is very important, because if you don't know your own self, you you will not know what is the shortcoming. And I think self-reflection is very important. Being able, a half battle is won if you are aware that this is something that on realization, like if you can realize it, your half battle is won. It is now about just correcting or uh, uh, course correcting the or coming back to the thing, back to the way. Yeah, that's about my 2 cents on what I think
Awesome.
about the journey.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Moise. I think we learned a lot of things about both, the recruitment industry in India, and also how AI is going to affect jobs and everything. And it was a pleasure to have you on our platform. And I would say you are doing a great work by, giving jobs to the bottom of the pyramid. And this is what is driving the big part of our country. I mean, only when the bottom of the pyramid grows, the country will grow. And I think you are playing a part in that. So kudos to you. And thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, Priya, for
Thank
inviting
you,
me.
Moiz. Thank you, Priya.
Thank you.
Thank you.